Hello UiPath experts, welcome to the UiPath.Learner channel. Thank you very much for subscribing UiPath.Learner channel. So today we will see that the thing is API call. So how can we call the one robot to another robot, or so you can call like a basically you can run the process not only from the agent or a studio or orchestrator. So you can run your process from other technology like a Java or a PHP or any technology which supports the API calls. Okay, so REST APIs. Today we'll see how can we call one robot to another robot. So let's go to this is a before going to start. So let's create a one new process. So robot call robot iRobot call JRobot, something like that. Okay, so we should know a basic things like a to call the robot. Okay, first what is our agenda here? So to start the job, basically start job. So basically run the process. Okay, to run the process, this is our agenda. So but to do that one, so we should have, there is a three things. One is first one is like a authorization. So authorizing the authenticating that basically log into that particular orchestrator. Okay, so once you authorize, so it will release one key. So that is called the access token. So what we have an access token basically. Okay, access token, this will give the some randomly generated access token once you authorized. So next one is so we should know what we have to run. Okay, so here is so what we have to run, that is basically a get process, basically the process name, or you can call it as a releases. Yes, releases. Okay, so to run this releases, it requires this AP access token, so which is just generated in the first step. So it requires, this is the input access token, but the output, so it will give the output as a basically the output is the key. What is the release key? Okay, so release key. And the next third one, so what we need, so where to run, so which robot you are choosing. Okay, that is a robot. Okay, robots, list of robots. So for this also you need the access token is the input, access token is the input, and what is the output from here? The output from here is a robot ID. Okay, robot ID, that is called ID, just ID. Okay, so now, so basically, so to the inputs from this is a key, key, the ID, and this access token. So once you get these three inputs, that means so the login key, that means orchestrator credential key, and the key of the release key, that means process key, and the third one is the ID of that robot. So okay, this is the first one. The second one is the third one. It's a very easy. Okay, so very easy. You can just run the job from any technology. Yes, sir. This is the fourth one. Okay, this is basically the fourth one. So finally, so to run the job, to run the process, in way to run, what to run, and the key. Okay, let us start with the first authorization. So once you create a new application, so right now I am using the UiPath itself. So to call another process, you can use the same thing from Postman or any other technology like the other technologies like anything, Java, .Net, PHP, PowerShell, anything. Okay, so let's type the REST API or HTTP. You don't have HTTP request activities, so once if you don't have, you just go to the manage packages and select the official, type the web. Okay, the package name is here. So UiPath.web.activities, just install that package into your studio. Okay, so it has a JSON, and basically, so you should know about the JSON also. Okay, JSON is like a one type of string, so it's having the curly braces. Here is a like a key and value. So for example, this is a key and value with the comma separated. So let us suppose for example, so this is a JSON, and so what is the name? What is the name? So name is a key and value is a Sudheer. Okay, comma and another key. Okay, phone number or mobile number. Okay, mobile number 970-543-5277. Again comma, if you can add any number of things like a email, UiPath.Learner@gmail.com. Okay, so this is at the end, if it is the last one, so no need to give the comma. So this is a JSON string. Okay, so this is just a string which is a JavaScript object kind of string. So suppose if you deserialize this JSON, this will give the one object, or suppose JOBJ. Okay, just imagine OBJ. JOBJ is a suppose JSON string is a input. This JSON string contains this whole thing. Just imagine this JSON string contains this whole thing. So this JSON string is an input for deserialization, and this output is a J object. For example, just imagine, just so. Okay, so if you want to call by using the J object, so what is the benefit here? So you can simply call J object of email ID bracket open, and you are providing the key. Okay, this is like this you can call. So if you just deserialize, there is a deserialization is there. So this is the input is a JSON string, and output of this one is a J object. Okay, that type is a J object. Okay, so you should know about this JSON. So before going to work with this HTTP REST APIs. Okay, so deserialize JSON. Okay, that is the one activity. So if you give the string as a JSON string as a input for the deserialization JSON, that will give the object as a J object. So you can create a variable for that by using that J object variable. So anything you can put this. That is a J object variable type. Okay, if you just call this one, so the output is this key value. It's like a dictionary. Okay, but one more thing here. If we have a, suppose for example, you have a like a within that. One more thing is like a languages or skills. That skills is not simple value, so it has a list of values. Suppose for example, skill again name, skill name equal to C#, comma, that is the one thing, and right. So experience, 8 years of experience. See, this is basically, so this is an array. Okay, the output, the value of the skills is an array. This array has, this is an array. This array has one item. This is a one item, the selected one. This one item has again the key value pairs. So let us try to create a one more value. So name, the same type of variables. Okay, so UiPath, name of the skill. Okay, or if you have a skill name. Okay, skill name. Okay, and so what is that? So the next one is a experience, 3 years of experience I have. Okay, suppose this is an array. This array has a two objects. This one is a 0th index. This one is a first index. Okay, first index. Let us try to, so if you just call this one, so directly it will come. Okay, suppose I want to get the second item, this one. So UiPath and so JOBJ of skills. First of all, we need the skills. Okay, this will give the a list of items, basically the array of items. So here, so I need the second item, right? Second item. Always the index will starts with the 0. This is a 0. This is what? What is this? This is a first index. Immediately you just give the bracket and one first index. Within the first index, what you want again? Within the first index, so that means the meaning of this one, the output of this one is a this collection. Okay. So after this, you need the skill name. Okay. Copy that and use the skill name. This will give the output is a UiPath. Okay. So can you just guess? So how can we get this 8 years of experience? This one. So let us try one more time. J object of the main thing is a skills. So bracket open. So as it is a 0th item, just see the 0th item, and what we need, this is a experience, 0th item experience. This will give 8. Okay. So the basic knowledge of the JSON is required. Okay. Let us go to our main concept, like a robot calls robot by using the API, Orchestrator API. Okay, that is here. So first one is a authorization. Let us once you install that UiPath.web.activities, you can just type the HTTP requests. Okay, HTTP request. You can give the value here. Otherwise, click OK. This HTTP request is for authorization. That's just authorizing the orchestrator. So you have to go to the orchestrator .fun.uipath.com, and so go to the services, and here click on this your service is there, right? So open this service page and go to the Google and try to search Orchestrator UiPath Orchestrator API. Okay, how can we connect? So the help from the UiPath company itself. Okay, so there is a document.uipath.com is there. So I'm just changing the version to the latest version, version 2016 to 2020.4. Okay, so once I change the version, so you can just go to the here this Orchestrator API guide. So no need to go here if you remember all the things. Just scroll down here in the right hand side tree, cloud, there is a consume cloud API. Click on that, consume cloud API. Okay, here you can get the step by step concepts of the, so how can you use it. So what we are doing, so we are doing just the first one only, authorization. So first one, if you want to connect, so this is a endpoint. This is the endpoint, and the request type is a post. Right click and copy. This is a endpoint for that. Go to this HTTP request activity. So where is the endpoint? This is the endpoint. Okay, expand this one. Give that endpoint. Okay, give that endpoint. So how can we author? What is the type? The type is a post. Okay, the type is a post. And the headers, these are all the headers, these two headers. So go to the headers session here, and create a headers like a content type equal to, that is a string, and application /JSON. Okay. And what is the next one is a x hyphen UiPath hyphen tenant name. Okay, UiPath hyphen tenant name. This is a tenant name. So where we'll get this tenant name? The tenant name. So once you go to your orchestrator, so in the services, this is our service. So click on these 3 dots. There is a API access. Okay, so go to your service, the tenant, and click on that 3 dots, and API access is there. This will give the one API access folder. So this is a tenant logical name. Copy, there is a copy button. Click on that. It will copy. This key is copied to your clipboard. Paste here. Okay, Once we done, we are done with the headers. The next one is a body format. The body they mentioned here, assuming this is a body. Right click and copy the body, and that is a JSON format, exactly how we discussed. Here we discussed, right? So the name, mobile number, phone number, brackets, key and value, the same format is repeated here, right? So the key and value, key and value, key and value, right? So just copy this JSON string. As it is a JSON, the body format is also, I'm just converting the JSON, JSON. Okay. So open that body in the double quotes, paste here. So we are giving the double quotes at the top, right? So inside the double quote, inside the text, wherever you see the double quotes, remove that instead of one double quote, you just give the double quote. Okay, so that it will, because it is a escape sequence character. Okay, double quotes, give the two double quotes, two double quotes, two double quotes, two double quotes. Okay, so what we have to change? So we have to change the client ID and the user key, where we will get in the same Orchestrator API, our platform.uipath.com. We have a user key here. Copy this user key. Just click on this copy button, so it will copy the whole user key. Paste this user key here. At the same time, so the client ID also, copy the client ID and paste here. Okay, done. So but he is showing the error because of the quotations. So you can just give the quotations and plus button every line, or you can make everything in the single line. I am just making everything in the single line, so that it is looks like a string. That's it. Okay, so we're done with the body and the headers. That's it. Okay, the next thing is the output. It will give the outputs once it will give the output as a the result of the JSON. So that's what they mentioned here, right? The JSON result, it will come as access token, these things and all. Okay, so we will create a one variable called result authorization, and another variable called code authorization. Okay, so two variables we created. So one is the integer, result is the integer, result is a string basically, sorry, the code is a integer. So basically, so once this API call is success, let us try to display that two variables here, result authorization plus hyphen plus code authorization dot to string. Okay, so once it is a success, it will return the number 200. Okay, so if you return 200, that means so we are in the correct way. So see here, last 200, it returns the 200, and the result is also a JSON format, and in the results you have a access token, and there is different things are there. So what we can do, we can store that access token, so in the one variable acc underscore token. Okay, one variable. How can we, so we have a JSON, right? We have JSON. If you want to get the single value, what we have to do, we have to deserialize that string to the J object. Okay, so JSON, just type the JSON, there is a deserialized JSON, drag here. So where is that? This has the result authorization is a string that has the JSON format string, and create one variable to that J object obj authorization. Okay, so this J object, suppose for example assign the access token equal to J object authorization of, that's what we learned here, right? So if you want to get the anything, so suppose name, you have to give the J object of that name, it will give the immediately that value of that, right? So within that acc ess underscore token, okay, dot to string. Okay, so this is a access token. Suppose for example, let's run access token only, and one more thing is if code authentication equal to 200, then only, so then only that call is success, otherwise there is a problem. Okay, so if the code is not equal to 200. So what I am just doing, so I am just throwing exception, like if it is not equal to 200, okay, throwing the exception, new exception dot, so authorization failed with the result and the code is code not to string. Okay, so basically this will throw the exception. So if it is not code authorization is not equal to 200. Okay, so it is a checking 200 status code done. Okay, so if it is a throw, it will stop and it will throw the process. Now the first part is done. See, got it? This part is done, and we got the access token also restored into the access token, okay, into the one variable. So next part is this one. So we have to pass the access token, and we should get the key of the releases. Okay, so what we can do, so I have some processes, so we can just run this process. Basically, let me run this process. What it will do, it will just open a website in the Internet Explorer, go to the Google and type a simple thing like a weather in my city. That means my city in the sense Ongole is my city. Okay, weather in Ongole. Okay, that's it. So it will close the browser. That is the work of this process. Okay, got it. We will just get the key for this process. Okay, how can we get? Let's go here, and again HTTP request, drag that HTTP request and click OK. You can pass there itself. This is a releases. As a release means process. Okay, so go to our consume API. Here scroll down, there is a releases. Just search for here. There is a robots. Do you find anything releases? Process request. Just click the process request here, because it is a process, right? So process request is nothing but a processes, that is a releases actually. Okay, yeah, that API key has a releases, but you have to just click on the process request. Okay, now so what we can do, so this is a basically that is a get method, and this is your our API key, and see here double quotes API key, and if you want to get the some filters, you can just give the filter equal to name equal to something. What is the name? So what name we can, so we have a, this is the name of that process. Just now we ran, right? That process name is the name of that process. Copy this process name and give here. Okay, so closely observe. So what the releases, and there's a question mark. Question mark is after question mark there's a parameters. There's a filter is a parameter. In the filter, the name equal to EQ is equal, and then the our process name. Okay, so we'll get only a single process instead of get the multiple process and filter. Okay, we'll get the single process. That is a endpoint, and get is a method, and after that what we have to go to the headers. So create a header like a authorization. Okay, authorization. That authorization, so there is a bearer space. You have to create that word bearer. Don't forget to give the space, and plus access token. So this access token we require, right? So directly bearer space and that access token. Okay, so after that what we need, x hyphen UiPath hyphen tenant name. Okay, so where will get the tenant name? The tenant name you will get from here, tenant name. Okay, after that, so the one thing here is, let's go to the, I'm just pasting this my tenant name here, or let me go to the, click on this service. So go to the orchestrator, because the orchestrator has the facility to create within the one tenant. You can create a multiple folders, right? So each folder has a separate robot, separate processes, separate environment, assets. Everything is a it's a by row, by the folders, right? Separated by the folders. So you have different folders, right? So which so if you want to go to the process, you should mention the folder organization. So organization unit, what is the organization unit name? So by default it is a default, right? So we have all the things in the default. So here in the URL you can find the FID, that is the folder ID, that is the folder ID. Copy that FID, I'm just pasting here just for reference. Go to here, the organization UiPath organization unit ID, this is ID. Okay, organization unit ID is this one, copy paste. So which folder you have to mention. So after that, so the headers is done. I think that's it. Okay, result, just create a one result of release, and the same thing, code releases. Okay, now just try to display that code releases dot toString plus hyphen result releases. Okay, so we'll see whether it is so going through that particular second step or not. Second step we will get the key. So basically, okay. So yeah, success, SSC 200, and this is again the JSON format. In the JSON format, so in this JSON format, if you closely observe, there is a key. See, so like there is a this type of this type of array is there. This type of array. Okay, where is that value? See, value is a key, and that is an array. That array has a single item. That key, this key we need. Second line last you have a key, right? That key we need. Okay, so basically, so value, if you just type the value will come, and that value has an array. That array we have to give the index, as we filtered already by giving the 0 is the index. We will give the 0, within the 0 the key. Okay, we will give the key. Now we will create a key on string. Okay, key is a okay. So we will fill this key. So how can we fill this key? So the second part releases the key, right? So second part releases the key. This key we have to store, because the fourth step we need this all the values, the key values. So what we can do is, again, this is a JSON Deserialization, and give the code releases, no, result releases. Okay, the output should be, may be a JOBJ release. Okay, so what we can do, we can just if you want to display this JObject releases of value is a key, and 0 after that key. Okay, dot toString. If you want to see, we will see. That's why I just explained the JSON deserialization part in the before. Okay, now we are able to get this key. So the same concept, how we get this skills 0th experience, skills 1 item, first item, that is a second item, and skill name. Okay, in the same way, value and the index and key. Okay, now we'll just assign this key to the key value. Okay, assign the same thing, copy this one. Okay, now the second part is done. Second part is done. The first part is done. Second part is done. You got the access token. Now the third part, robots, where we have to execute. Okay, let's try to go to the another HTTP request and click OK. Let us search here what is the endpoint. So process request and robot request. Here is a robot request, you can see in the left hand side tree. Okay, robot request. In the robot request again, you can see like a, normally this is a common thing, like a up to here is a common. After that what you need, that you have to mention. So okay, so let us go to the this HTTP request robots and the endpoint get okay slash robots. So we need the robots, right? So robots. Okay, so and also if you want to filter, you can just filter equal to name equal. Okay, if you have name robot name, let's go to this my orchestrator robot session. You can find this is my robot name. Okay, give this robot name here, closely observe robots, and okay. Now the same thing, so this is a get method only, and the same thing headers. We have to use the authorization, and this is a barrier space plus access token. We need the access token to authorize. So one thing is x UiPath hyphen tenant name. So where we'll get the tenant name. So that is a so first I am just copying this folder path folder unit x hyphen UiPath hyphen organization unit ID. That is this one. And let's go back to our automation cloud. On the automation cloud services page, so under your tenant API access, you can get that API access tenant name. So we need the tenant logical name. Okay, so that tenant logical name here, okay, click on this, it will go and store in the clipboard, and go here, copy paste. Okay, so only 3 headers. Okay, so authorization, tenant name, organization unit ID. Okay, click OK. So what is the next? And the thing is directly you can just create a result robots. Okay, code robots. You can keep anything, no problem. I'm just result robots. Just check whether we are able to access correctly or not. Robots dot hosting. This we are in third step. Okay, we are in third step. So we'll see whether it will get the code 200 or not. Perfect. Okay, we are in the right path. Okay, so 200 came. So again this JSON came. So in the JSON, so if you observe the second type of this value, under value there is a one robot, and that robot, if you just closely observe, there is a ID. See here the last from the last there is a second line. You can find the ID like a 281381, right? So we need that ID. Okay, so now what we can do, deserialize JSON, give the result robots, create one object like a JOBJ robots, and here, so to store that ID, so you can create a ID or you can create a ID or robot ID, anything. Okay, ID, or I am just creating a robot ID. Okay, robot ID. Okay, this robot ID, just use the assign operator, robot ID. So how can we get the output of this? Is a J object robots. So J object robots of value, that is a key of 0 of what is that, ID dot posting. Okay, the same thing, there is no new things. So you already learned how can we get the a value which is that means value is a already array, that array has another items, so you have to get that particular item. So the same thing. Now this is also done. Okay, we need the we got the key, we have a robot ID, we have access tokens. The final part, okay, the final part is run the job. Okay. So again HTTP request, click OK, search for, so what is the run the jobs. Okay, there is job request is there, job request. Okay, click on that job request in the left hand side panel. So you can find scroll down, you have a different type of job request. So but try to get the job start. This is a job start. So keep in mind, this is a post, it's not a get, it is a post. So I'm renaming this run job. Okay, and this is the start job. That's it. Start job is a this is a URI, and that is a post. You have to change the method, and this method has the body format, which is a post JSON. You have to give the body. So the body they mentioned here. Okay, this is a body they mentioned here. So before that, we will complete the headers. What we can do, the same things. Authorization. So authorization is a bearer space access token. Okay. And x hyphen UiPath hyphen 10 name. Okay, so what is the tenant names? Where we'll get the tenant name? Here. Okay, orchestrator, from our orchestrator. Paste, click OK, and yeah. So body, in the body, just open this one body. I just copy from this body, copy the body. So double quotes. So this is a JSON again. So if you have a double quotes, keep in mind you have to change that into the double quotes, because it is a escape. So because it won't understand. So if you give the double quotes within the string, it treat like a, that itself it is a closed. Change everywhere double quotes, wherever you see the double quotes within the body, double quotes. Okay, so here it's not all, it is a specific. Okay, just a strategy, change to the specific. Okay, specific. And the robot IDs, so the robot IDs is a robot. So otherwise we will do one thing, so we'll just make the everything in the single line. Okay, the specific, why this specific is there is something. So let's go to this. So double quotes, just closely observe. So what is the problem? Okay. So first of all, this is a key, so I'm just removing that key. Release key or key, simply key is there. Okay, key, that is that's it. So after that we will have that double quotes. Okay. Mhm. So within this, so there is something is a problem with the specific. Mm, here, okay, here there is a single double quote. This is a issue. Okay, so you should replace this is a single double quotes. That's why. So give the double quotes. Now it's perfect. Now double quotes plus plus here release. What is that? Release. What is that? Robot ID. Robot ID. Okay, so what you need, so you just give the key. That's what we required here, right? Robot key, ID, and robot ID, and the process key and access token. Now everything is done. Okay, so click OK. Now, so go to the results, create the result, and job, same thing. So code jobs. So you can just you'll just use that code jobs just to understand result jobs. Okay, we'll see whether it is it will return the perfect result JSON if it is running perfectly. There is some problem. Okay, so what is it is saying an organization unit is required. So we not specify the organization unit. Okay, I think we missed the organization unit. Headers over here. We don't have organization unit. Just create the organization unit x hyphen UiPath hyphen organization unit ID. So where we will get the organization unit ID. We will get the organization unit ID once you log into your that is basically the organization folder ID. So this is a URL. This URL, copy this FID. Okay, so give that FID here. Click OK, and now start the job. Okay, so the final part, the fourth step, starting the job. Okay, once you get the result, see this is a UI result is a 201. That means it is successfully triggered the job. See the robot is running in the at the side. Okay, now let me retry. Now the robot will start and stop. Okay, so it will trigger. So you can see here, so whether it is triggered see it is triggered. Now it is a running state. So this is a way we can just run the process, one process by using the another by using the API REST API. Okay, I'm just running again. So see, it will open the browser and type the weather in Ongol, and it will wait some time and close the browser. That is the duty of the one process. So which process? Okay, so which process you want to run? So that is a process. Okay, so those are all the these many steps. So finally we done with the successfully done with the start the job. So very simple things. Only 4 steps you have to keep in mind: authorization, release key, and robots. Way to run, what to run, and authorization, and start the jobs. Okay, thank you very much for watching my video. So please share to the multiple groups, so that others also can they don't waste time. So whenever they have a requirement like calling the jobs or processes from API, they don't waste they don't go to the multiple things, and they can strive forward call the process by using the simple 4 steps. Okay, Orchestrator API 4 steps. Okay, I feel that it's very useful for you. So please give the comments. So and thank you very much. So stay safe and stay home. So in these days, thank you very much. So bye bye, have a great day.